Good morning to everyone. Last class we discussed about solvent extraction types, that is batch extraction, continuous extraction and counter current extraction. I already said to you which are very important for your exams. And coming to the another separation techniques is a very important one and which is a very widely known process, that is chromatography. Okay, so like as our solvent extraction, this chromatography is also helps us to separate the compounds. Along with the separation of compounds, chromatography is also helps us to identify the compounds and also helps us to separate quantitatively or to know how many unknown compounds are present, how many unknowns are there. Okay, and after that one their relative quantities are also we can guess, relative quantities. So I will explain clearly to you. Along with our solvent extraction, chromatography is another technique which is highly helps us to separate the compounds. And first of all, suppose if there is an unknown given to you, first what you need to know, you need to separate the compounds, right? So that you came to know how many compounds are present. Let us suppose I gave an unknown compound. By doing this chromatographic experiments, you observe that that unknown compound contains three mixtures, that is A, B, C. So how many that mixture contains how many varieties of compounds? A, B, C. Next, what you have to do? You need to separate them. So A you have to separate, B alone C. And then next, you need to separate them uh, in a relative quantity. That is, maybe A is present 20%, B is present 60%, of course C is present only 20%. So the you are separating quantitatively. And finally what you are doing, you are going to identify the compounds, that is what is A, what is B and what is C. So means what, this chromatographic techniques are going to give the complete information about your sample studies in the laboratories, because in the laboratories so many drug discoveries these chromatographic techniques are highly useful in the laboratories. Altogether, we have 7 varieties of chromatographic techniques. In our syllabus, we have 6 varieties of chromatographic techniques. First one is column chromatography. Second one is thin layer chromatography. That simply we call it as TLC, thin layer chromatography. Third one is IEC, that is ion exchange chromatography. Fourth one is GC, that is gas chromatography. And fifth one is paper chromatography, that is PC. Next one is gas liquid chromatography. And finally the last one is HPLC, that is high performance liquid chromatography. Right. So actually what is going to happen in this chromatographic techniques? While studying any one of this chromatography, all the chromatographic techniques must and should contain two phases. Must and should contain two phases. One is called stationary phase and second one is called mobile phase. As the name tells us that stationary phase means which can't move, mobile phase means which continuously in a moving position. Stationary phases are maybe solids or maybe liquids, but mobile phases are liquids or gases. You may get the doubt that ma'am, you are saying stationary phase is a means which does not move, but you are telling an example that liquids are also acts as a stationary phase. How could it possible? In such conditions we will take the help of a solid, means liquid supported on a solid. Okay, so finally this is the brief introduction of this chromatography. Means it is used for the separation of compounds, and actually to know how many unknown compounds are there present in that reaction mixture, and relative quantities also can able to know, and finally we are going to identify those compounds. How many varieties are there? Altogether 7 chromatographic techniques are there. These chromatographic techniques bases on the two phases, that is stationary phase and second one is mobile phase. Now depending upon the mobile phase and stationary phase, these chromatographic techniques are divided into these type of categories. See here, when if you are using solid as a stationary phase, we call such type of chromatographic techniques or adsorption chromatographic techniques. If we use liquid as a stationary phase, see here the clearly they wrote liquid supported on an inert material. We call them as partition chromatography. Why? Why? Because if you are using solid as a stationary phase, in such conditions, the separation of these compounds depends upon the principle adsorption. I hope all of you know what is meant by adsorption. Already you got that lesson in your previous semesters. If we use liquid as a stationary phase, the principle depending upon this partition coefficient, we are going to separate those compounds. So here see, solid is a stationary phase. If gas is the mobile phase, then the example of that chromatography is gas chromatography. If we use liquid as a mobile phase, there are three varieties of chromatographic techniques: column chromatography, thin layer chromatography, and ion exchange chromatography. Liquid as a stationary phase, gas as a mobile phase. Example is gas liquid chromatography. Liquid is the stationary phase. The same liquid is used as a mobile phase. Examples are paper chromatography and high performance liquid chromatography. So whenever if anyone asks you, tell me what are the stationary phases and mobile phases in ion exchange chromatography. If anyone suddenly asks you such type of question, you need to give the answer that in ion exchange chromatography, stationary phase is solid, mobile phase is liquid. Similarly, if any one of you asks that in the gas liquid chromatography, what are the stationary phases and mobile phases, you need to say the stationary phase is liquid and the mobile phase is gas. So, and one more point always you need to remember in your mind is that if solid is a stationary phase, then the principle behind the chromatographic separation is adsorption. If liquid is the stationary phase, then partition coefficient is the principle behind this chromatographic techniques. So up to this is the basic introduction of this chromatographic techniques. Now among these chromatographic techniques, first I starts with the column chromatography. In the column chromatography, what the thing is happening, that we will see. Mainly column chromatography helps us for the quantitative separation of the compounds. Is always highly useful for us for the quantitative separation of compounds. Even in grams or kilograms also you can separate by using this column chromatography. There is a one example that anti-cancer drug, that is Taxol and Vincol. Just a minute. I'm little bit doubt about that spelling. Taxol and coblastin. These are the two anti-cancer drugs which are separated in a large scale, which are separated quantitatively in a large scale by using this column chromatography techniques. So in the column chromatography, suppose the same question is given to your exams, then you need to write first what are the stationary phases and what is the mobile phase in column chromatography. So tell me, what is the column chromatography stationary phase? Solid. What is the mobile phase in column chromatography? Liquid. Right? And the basic principle behind the separation of the compounds is what? Adsorption. Hence, column chromatography is also called as adsorption chromatography. Right. So, how the experiments are going, that we need to study now, right? Generally, here in the column chromatographic techniques, you need to take a column which is like as a burette, which is clamped vertically, same like as a burette. There is an opening here, and this is clamped vertically by using a stand. Clamped vertically by using a stand. Same like as our burette. Here some beaker is there, or you may take conical flask also. Okay. So for your convenience, I show you the diagrams to you. So this is the main diagrams behind this column chromatography. So what I said to you, in the column chromatography, this is a column which is clamped vertically by using a stand, right? So here in this column chromatography, first we need to take a stationary phase. What is the stationary phase we are using here? Here we are using silica gel. Silica gel we are using as a stationary phase. Okay. Let our reaction mixture is A and B. Means we are going to separate A and B, which are having different polarities. And let us take benzene is our mobile phase. Okay, right. Now this silica gel G, you need to made in the form of a powder. You need to convert that in the form of powder, fine powder. Okay, so and first you need to take that silica jelly in the form of fine powder, and add little bit of benzene to this and make it in the form of a slurry, like as in a mortar and pestle. You know, I hope you know, in your labs there is a mortar and a pestle like this. మీకు కరెక్ట్గా చెప్పాలంటే మన ఇంట్లో చిన్న రోల్ ఉంటుంది కదా, అలాగనమాట. యూజింగ్ దట్ మోటార్ అండ్ పిజల్ యూ నీడ్ టు గ్రైండ్ దట్. ఓకే, సో by pouring some benzene here, you are making in the form of a slurry. Slurry means which is a semi-liquid. Okay, so first you need to prepare that silica gel slurry. So in the first step, what I am doing here is, here in this column, in at the down I am placing cotton by using a rod. Using some rod, you need to place cotton here first and pour that silica gel slurry into this column. Okay, and just wait for some time so that this silica gel slurry will get dry. Okay, so now the column is packed with the stationary phase. So now the column is ready for us. Okay, now this is the reaction mixture A and B, what we are going to separate. This is taken in a beaker. For this also you need to add very little amount of benzene, very little amount of organic solvent. Here I am telling benzene, depending upon the experiment the mobile phases may change. So here for the sake of convenience I am using the word benzene. So this, in the second step, what we are doing, that reaction mixture slowly we are pouring into this column. See here, application of the mixture of compounds. So now in the form of a narrow band at the front end of the column, we are introducing that one. Okay, generally the mobile phase, just only I said to you, right? Here I used the term benzene. You may use N-hexane, chloroform, so many are there. So now this mobile phase is we are pouring in the third step. That introduction of mobile phase is called eluent. Mobile phase is also called as what? Eluent. Now this eluent is poured into this column, right? Now this reaction mixtures A and B, I already said one point clearly to you. These two have different polar nature, different polarities. A have one polarity, B have another polarity. Similarly, this silica gel G is also highly polar. This stationary phase is also highly polar. So when this A and B are introduced into the column, depending upon the differences in their polarities, let us suppose B is more polar than A. Let B is more polar than A. In such conditions, B wants to adsorb. Adsorb means which is a surface phenomenon, right? So B stops at the stationary phase, whereas because A is less polar, this A will travel along with the mobile phase. Because A is less polar, it does not adsorbs with the stationary phase. ఇది stationary phase కి stick అవ్వదు, so that it will travel along with the mobile phase. That's why we are telling that adsorption is the basic phenomenon in this column chromatography. Because A is more polar than A, B will get adsorb more to this stationary phase, because stationary phase is also highly polar. This silica gel is also highly polar. So that, see here, this A and B, if you observe here, B is traveling slowly, the dark spots traveling slowly, and this circled points are coming down quickly. That is A, because A is less polar. Whenever you are introducing this eluent, that eluent will come down and collects in this conical flask. Now in the fourth step, what is happening? A came down more fast, right? And in the fifth step, A is collected in this conical flask. Later onwards, because eluent we are pouring continuously, what will happen? This B also will starts coming down, and in the next step B will come down more and more, and then finally in the last step we are collecting that B also. The one doubt may come in your mind, ma'am, how can I found A is collected and how can I observe that B is collected in this conical flask? Suppose those are colored mixtures, then you can easily guess, yes, A is collected, yes, B is collected. Okay. And one more doubt is also there for you, that ma'am, this A and B are coming down along with benzene, but we want only A or we want only B. Then you need to do the distillation method. So that's why selection of mobile phase is very, very important. The mobile phase must and should have very less boiling point. So by doing the distillation process, that benzene will get evaporated easily, so that compound A you are collecting. Similarly, compound B also you are collecting. So finally, what I want to say is, depending upon the adsorption strengths, how can I guess that adsorption strengths? Depending upon their polarity. Here, because B is more polar compound, which will run slowly, because which is highly adsorbed to the stationary phase. So B comes slowly, because A is a non-polar compound which has a less adsorption strength towards the stationary phase, will come down quickly. So this is the basic thing which is happening in this column chromatography. Next class, I am going to discuss about what is a stationary phase, what are the compounds we are using in the stationary phase, and what is this mobile phase, right? And and little bit deep into the part of this adsorption technique, and finally dry packing method as well as wet packing method in this column chromatography. So still I need one more class to complete about this column chromatography.